Hello guys, welcome back to Malik 34 channel. This is Malik Arjun. So in this today's session, I'm going to represent one of the exciting topics, and which is absolutely free of cost, and it's a free software, free license offered by Oracle, and it's one of the best the cloning tool or cloning mechanism where you can make use of this and to reduce the lot of cost saving and a lot of performance improvement. And this is the best cloning mechanism or cloning tool. You can as a DBA you can make use of it for the free of cost, rather than going and buying some of the third party the cloning mechanism, right? As a we DBA, like we day in and day out are regularly used to get a request from application team or the business end user to clone the lower environment from the production database, right? So our development database, UAT database, and test database, we used to refresh those database regularly from the production latest data. So this cloning is become one of the our DBA mandatory task. So to manage that, there are so many tools in the market. So those are like you have to pay and then purchase the licensing and all. But Oracle ACFS snapshot method is a free tool offered by Oracle. You can make use of that, and then you can make use of your ACFS features, and you can go with the cloning of your lower environment. So this is going to be one of the exciting topic I'm going to represent to you guys. Most of them are not aware of this, and then it's pretty useful for all of the DBS. So before I get deep dive into this technical aspects, so if you're new to my channel, always go back to YouTube and search for Malik034, and then please do subscribe. If you like my videos, please share, like, and comment. So before I get started with this one, if you just search in the Google GDB clone, you will get a GDB clone, database clone, snapshot management script, or whatever it is. You just open this one, you will get the snapshot, the GDB clone RPM, and this particular GDB clone white paper reference. And if you download and open this particular white paper reference, and that is what I'm going to talk about in this today's scenario. So let's get started with this. First thing, the agenda for this today's this new topic is what is database clone and ACFS snapshots, database clone purpose, old database cloning purpose, new database cloning purpose like ACFS snapshot, and ACFS snapshot technical details and statistics and advantages and disadvantages. Right. So what is database clone and ACFS snapshot? Everyone know that source database, right? Source database is our production database, and we used to copy the data files, archeologs, or whatever it is, and you can clone it, duplicate database to the lower environment, right? For the development or test or UAT. Database clone, refreshing the lower databases like development, test, or UAT from the latest production data. So that is nothing but database clone. Everyone aware of that. And what is ACFS snapshot? This is the new technology introduced by Oracle to clone, prepare the database as a snapshot copy from the master database. Production environment, you can see there's a Exadata server, or you can see whatever server, there's a production database, and I'm going to create ACFS file system in that. And in that ACFS file system, whatever the production database, I'll just copy to my ACFS snapshot. Inside ACFS file system, I'll just copy that entire production database as a master database. From the master database, I can create a n number of snapshot, development, test, or UAT, or whatever database. N number of database I can spin off from that master database, right? And ACFS is a ASM cluster file system. It's just terminologies. If I go further, you will get understand what snapshot, how it works. Okay, database clone purpose. You can see cloned database can be used for multiple purpose. Few examples are to have a latest production data into lower instance, that is development, test, UAT, for the application development lifecycle testing functionality. So if you want to test, your application team want to test anything in the new functionality or new feature, anything they want to develop, they have to do it on the development, test, and UAT. They cannot directly go and test it on the production, right? So you have to get the latest data from the production and place it under development, test, UAT, and then application team is able to do it. That is one of the basic functionality for the cloning. for the quarterly critical patch activity, right? Oracle will release the patches on quarterly basis, so you have to first test in development, test and UAT, then go to the production. You cannot directly test it on the production. Test backup and recovery procedure, right? So what guarantee your backup and recoveries are working fine, right? So you have to make sure that you have to regularly take a production database backup and try to restore it in your development test UAT. So that will conclude my backup and recovery scenario works fine. Test and upgrade a new release from the Oracle. If you want to upgrade your database from 11G to 12C or 12C to 18C or 19C, so you cannot directly do it on the production, right? So you have to have in lower environment first test over there the upgradation, and then go with the production. That is one of the other scenario. Test the effect of application database performance. So if you're facing any issue at the production side, you cannot test that one. Same issue you can replicate in your development, and then you can find the solution. So that's the other scenario. Create a standby database for data guard purpose. So you need a latest clone, right? You have to get a copy of your production, clone it, and build your data guard, and implement the new features into application and many other purposes. These are just a cloning purpose. Why you need all this development test UAT environment for the many of few of these are the advantages. And then whole database cloning process, I'm talking about one of the customer scenario. So these stats are taken from one of the customer scenario where I worked for them. Used to get a request to refresh the lower instance, development, test and UAT from the production database. So we used to get a request from the production team, from the application team, to get the latest production copy into my development database or UAT or test. So to take a production backup, it is of I can say 40 terabyte, not 38, 40 terabyte in size, which used to take around 10 hours. The 40 terabyte RMAN backup, or 40 terabyte of database size, used to take around 10 hours the backup. And prepare the environment like development, test, UAT. First I have to prepare the environment and clone and create the database clone script from the production for the target. Basically I need to get a new server and prepare it, and then make it ready and create the clone script. That again used to take a 10 hours. And database clone, I need to start it from this production backup to the from this production backup to the any of the development or the new environment. Again that used to take around 1 or 2 days. And then the post clone activity used to take around almost 5 to 10 hours. It's all over. What I mean to say here, to take a production backup and prepare the new environment and then the clone it used to take like at least 2 to 3 days for me, right? This is whole the cloning process. And overall 40 terabyte database clone will be cloned to the development UAT test UAT with the same as 40 terabyte. So if I want to build development, test and UAT 3 environment, if I want to build it, the 40 terabyte production database is become 40 terabyte in development, 40 terabyte in test, and 40 terabyte in UAT. All together I need a 3 server with 128 terabyte 120 terabyte of space, right? Storage is a huge concern here for me, because 40 terabyte database from production, if I build a 3 environment, I need 120 terabyte. So it's going to be huge nightmare, and then storage is a huge concern for me. And one database clone used to take around 2 to 3 days. It's a time concern. 2 to 3 days is very time concern for me. These are the two major challenges I was facing for one of the customer. Then I proposed the new technology, that is ACFS snapshot cloning. So what exactly this ACFS snapshot cloning works? ACFS snapshot can be created from the active production database or from the production backups. I'll explain in detail what exactly is that. From the production database, we can clone one master database of the same size as production database, that is 40 terabyte, which used to take around same as like 10 to 12 hours. If I can go back here, whatever like 40 terabyte size from the production, and I used to take a backup of 10 hours, and then if I want to clone it as a lower environment, used to take same as like 10 to 12 hours. Same here also, like from the production database we can clone and we can create one master database in ACFS file system with the same as production size, that is 40 terabyte. From the master database I can clone lower instance, development, test, UAT as a snapshot database, which used to take only few minutes, 20 to 30 minutes, which is going to be huge time saving here. The cloned snapshot database, test UAT and development database is going to be only few GBs, 50 to 100 GBs rather than 40 terabyte of my production database, which is huge storage saving here, and this is a huge time saving here. I'll just explain in my next slide. You can see here, right? From the production database 40 terabyte, I can clone one master database. It is going to be same as my production database. Production database is 40 size, 40 terabyte, and my gold database, gold DB on ACFS is going to be 40 terabyte. It is going to be same as my production database. From this master gold copy, I can spin n number of databases: development database, test database, UAT database, and pre-prod, and whatever database, like n number of database I can spin off. All this development, test, UAT as a snapshot on ACFS with 50 GB each. It is not 50 GB, less, even less than that, or 50 to 100 GB I can say. These are going to be only snapshot, not the actual database. So this is going to be very huge storage saving here. And to spin from the production this gold copy to the development, it is just a 20 minutes. If you spin one database as a snapshot, it is just used to take only 20 minutes. From the production database to the gold database, it used to take almost 10 to 12 hours, right? If I want to create a 3 database here from the production, I used to get 12 hours for each, 12 hours for development, 12 hours for test, and 12 hours for UAT. So I need almost 3 days, 1.5 days. And then for the storage, if production is 40 terabyte and all development, test, UAT is going to be 120 terabyte. But if I go with this snapshot concept, I can just go create gold master copy, which is a 40 terabyte, same as production. From this gold master copy, I can spin n number of snapshot database, which is a few GBs, and to spin each snapshot database used to take almost just 20 minutes. So there's a huge time difference here. So that's what I just mentioned here, technical aspects. From the source database, I can create a clone master database. Here you can see GDB clone. Using GDB clone, I can create a one master database. From the GDB clone master database, I can create n number of snapshot copies, right? These are the snapshot copies. You can go with a standalone, rack, and rack restart. All the method you can go with. And this master copy also you can go with a single instance, rack one node, rack database, anything you can go with this. To create a master database, the command is gdb clone, and you need to mention clone, which will create a master database. For the create a snapshot database, you need to create gdb clone snap. Snap is a keyword here, clone is a keyword here. If you do gdb clone and clone, it will create a master database. gdb clone snap, it will create your snapshot database, right? So again, as I said, advantages and disadvantages. Advantages is huge storage saving, like it comes from 100 terabyte, like from 120 terabyte to the just 100 GBs. As I said, like if I can quickly go back here, like 40 120 terabyte, instead of 120 terabyte I just need 100 GBs or 150 GB. Huge time saving. The cloning used to take 2 to 3 days, but here to create each of this snap I just need 20 minutes. From this gold copy, I'll just within 20 minutes I can create one database. Within 20 minutes I can create test. Within 20 minutes I can create UAT, and it is not limited to only 3. I can create n number of databases. There is no limitation. That's the other thing. And huge performance improvement. Why huge performance improvement? Because these snapshots are resides under ACFS. ACFS is having a lot of features, so that is one of the other advantages. These lower snapshot instance will get a new exact. If you are creating on Exadata ACFS, all the Exadata new features will come into your new environment. So again, you will get all the Exadata features if you are creating this snapshot on Exadata. There is no license cost. It's free licensing from Oracle. And coming to the disadvantage, all the snapshot DB won't are on the same master DB. So what that mean? If I create a master DB with Oracle user, all my snapshot database is also going to be Oracle user. So that doesn't matter, right? If I gold copy is with the Oracle OS user, all this development also is going to be Oracle as a OS user. So that doesn't matter. And then I don't see that's a disadvantage, but that's one of the limitations. Snapshot clone is only at the DB level, not at the application level. If I can go back here, I can create only snapshot databases, not the applications. So you can see production database has prod application, development has development application, test as a test application, UAT as UAT application. This application cloning, you have to do it by your own. So that does not that cannot be done using this ACFS. ACFS is only at the database level. That I can say one of the not a disadvantage, but again that is a limitation. This snapshot clone only support ACFS file system. This will not be support in OS file system. That's true. If you use ACFS, then only this snapshot will work. And GDB clone works in the grid infrastructure environment only. That's true, right? So to have your ACFS file system, you should have your grid infrastructure. Without grid infrastructure, you cannot have ACFS. Source database must be in archelog mode, right? Obviously you can have your source database in your archelog mode. So this is all about my GDB clone. So this is, again, as I said, if you go to Google and search for GDB clone, you will get this master document, and you can go this GDB clone reference white paper, and that is a brilliant document, I can say. So you can see GDB clone, and all this clone, it will create a master database, create a clone database. This is the primary. You can create a primary or a standby database, whatever it is, and you can use a snap. It will create a snap copy and convert list DB. So these all you can see here from the production database you can create your master database, and from the master you can spin off your n number of snapshot, and you can use those snapshot databases. And it has all the stats from the Oracle. They given all this white paper. You can use any of this command, all the commands, everything they're given, and also they given beautiful explanation, and all the commands usage, and also they given use cases. Usage also you can see GDB clone, and you can use this clone from the source database. You can do active database duplicate, or from the backup location also you can create your master database. And from once you create your master database, you can create a snap database. You can see here, right? GDB clone source DB name, your source data production database name, and you can use the SFS mount point, or you can use SGM access. All these options are they explain it very well. You can see you can go with the active database duplicate, or you can go with the source backup location. You can give your backup location, and it will create from using those backups. It will create your master database. And if you use this GDB clone snap, and you have to give your master database name and target database name, it will create your snap database. And lot of parameters you can pass it out. It will be very useful. So, and again, one of the installation is GDB clone is RPM. First you need to install RPM in your environment. So if you can, again, as I said, if you search GDB clone and then go with this one, this is RPM. You can get it from Oracle site. So if you download this RPM, and you can install that RPM. The moment you install RPM, you will get this OPT and GDB clone. If you go inside GDB clone, you will see all these are the libraries, the .pem file, and you can remove that RPM and it will reinstall it. It's just a single RPM. If you install it, your GDB clone tool will be ready, right? So, and again, it has given a lot of examples. You can read this white paper, you will understand very well. So also I have done it for one of the customer environment. You can see here node 1, I installed RPM here and successfully installed here. And from the node 2, again I did RPM-I installed RPM, and I went inside the OPT Oracle lib, and these are the RPMs. So once after I installed, and this is the activity I performed. You can see on the target Oracle Homes. So I created Oracle Homes. You can see here, if you can see, these are the GDB in the node 1, and in the node 2 you can see GDB clone, list homes. If you do whatever Oracle home configured in your rack environment, it lists out everything. You can see here, these are the Oracle homes listed here, and on the node 2 also, if you can see OPT, GDB clone list homes, you can see all the Oracle home listed here. And then I will create the password file. You can see a GDB clone sys passwd and sys password file, and you can create a password file, and that is not a mandatory. You can leave that password file creation. And this is the clone db from active database. You can see here, right? Sudo opt gdb clone db name ebs dba, and the scan name, and the target name, that's EBS gold, and the Oracle home, Ora 11g db home. You can see Ora 11g db home. You can give that db home, and SFS file system. I have my SFS file system here, and this is password file. I created one password file here, and then I give that password file. So after that, it will create your master database. So if now you can see here gdb clone list dbs. If you do list dbs, what it will do, it will list all your database. And you can see here this particular location or a parent, it's SFS, SFS1, SFS snapshot, and this is going to be my master database. You can see here I created this one as a single node. You can see I have not passed anything here. I have not passed the while creation of this one. I have not mentioned anything rack mode. If I mention rack mode, there's a usage here. I will show you quickly. Where is the usage? Okay, here it is. In the GDB clone, there's this particular rack mode. Where is the rack? Okay, see here, rack mode. It's a DB type. Rack mode, if you mention 0, 1, default it's a single node, and if you mention 1, it's a rack 1 node. If you mention 2, it's a rack database. So that's all. It's about that this database master database creation step. And once you create your master database, create a snap database, EBS snap from EBS gold. EBS gold is your master database what you created. From that master database, I'm going to create EBS snap. You can see here one command is gdb clone snap. I'm using here snap. Source database is my master gold copy, and target database is EBS snap, and I'm giving a rack mode equal to 2 means it's a rack database. You can see here again. After that, if you do gdb clone list dbs, you can see here this is EBS snap. It's a rack database. You can see this keyword rack database, and it's a primary, and it's a snapshot. You can see here it's a snapshot of what? Snapshot of my master copy, that is EBS gold. What is EBS gold? You can go to here, trace it out. EBS gold is a single instance, and it's a master copy, and it resides in my SFS mount point. From this, inside this SFS mount point, my master database is running, and from this master database I have a snapshot copy, that is my EBS snap. And then again, this is a time estimation. You can see here start time and end time. The master database took almost 18 hours. From this the log file you can say. And the snapshot database, you can see snapshot database just took 11 minutes, and this is a log file for that snapshot database. And the sample output, I already showed you all this output. And then if I do gdb clone list db -tree, you can see EBS gold is a master database parent or master database, and inside that I have a child, that is EBS snap. And then you can see srctl status database EBS gold. It's a single instance running on node 1, and srctl status EBS snap, and this is going to be 2 node snap running on one node 1 and node 2. And if I can see EBS size, it's going to be almost 7 terabyte, right? So that will take it from the master database, right? So that's it about the today's session. So this is going to be one of the very brilliant technology from the Oracle. So if you are using SFS file system, you definitely make use of this feature and functionality. Thank you.